This is the thing, measured twice, cut once.
Yeah.
This is kind of crazy that could be possible. That's horrific, and that's bad for the cause. Like, the cause is, let's get the gang members out. Everybody agrees, but let's not innocent gay hairdressers get lumped up with the gangs, and then, like, how long before that guy can get out? Can we figure out how to get him out? Is there any plan in place to alert the authorities that they've made a horrible mistake and correct it?
How bad is Trump's deportation chaos? Well, so bad that even Joe Rogan thinks this entire thing is messed up. Watch.
But that's also when mistakes get made.
Right.
And I think a human being being plucked out of nowhere and ending up in a country he's never been in a maximum security prison with gang members, seems like a bad thing to happen to me.
It's horrific. It's horrific.
I don't think that should be controversial.
No, that's not controversial at all. And this is the thing, measured twice, cut once.
Yeah.
This is kind of crazy that could be possible. That's horrific, and that's bad for the cause. Like, the cause is, let's get the gang members out. Everybody agrees, but let's not innocent gay hairdressers get lumped up with the gangs, and then, like, how long before that guy can get out? Can we figure out how to get him out? Is there any plan in place to alert the authorities that they've made a horrible mistake and correct it?
Well, if you think about it from a government perspective, and this is where I think it gets quite sinister, is once you've done that, the incentive structure is never going to be to admit that and deal with it. The incentive structure is to say nothing, to cover it up, to pretend it didn't happen.
But
right?
That is horrible.
So someone ends up in a black hole.
Okay, so Joe Rogan is speaking out for a little bit more sensitivity, a little bit thought, a little bit more care when it comes to this crucial issue. So I'm going to try to push past the fact that when the guy Konstantin Kisin brings up the fact that they might try to cover this up, Joe Rogan makes it sound as if he had never considered that the government would be dishonest, and that bothers me in a very deep level. But we're pushing that aside because he's a good guy in this particular story, and he says it's horrifying, and he says measure twice, cut once. I would point out it doesn't appear that they're measuring once before they cut. It seems like they're just cutting pretty much everything, physically, metaphorically, financially. So anyway, they're both there, and they both come to the right conclusion. It seems like that other podcaster, Konstantin, sort of leads Joe Rogan to that position. So that's good. Thank you for him for doing that. And look, the more people that know about Andry José Hernández Romero, that's the gay makeup artist that they're talking about right there, the better, especially considering some of those identities could result in sexual or political violence in Venezuela. And so, yeah, very, very serious. He, by the way, denies any association with the gang, was part of the way through getting his asylum claim accepted when he was deported without notice. This, by the way, they invoked that Alien Enemies Act thing. So this is yet another person that should not be able to be deported, except that the Trump administration has said, we don't care what the judges say. We're not, this isn't like a presidency existing in our democratic republic where you have checks and balances and things sometimes unfortunately take a little bit of time. We have to go back and forth. We're not doing that anymore. We do whatever the hell we want and the judges can go stuff it. And now we have another person that's a victim as a result of that. And by the way, I want to show this picture again. We'd shown it earlier in the show, but it's a list of some of the tattoos that have been used as evidence that you might be a gang member. So you have the Air Jordan logo. It's literally a person dunking a basketball. I don't understand what the argument here is that that's gang membership. A crown, a star. It's a star. There's how many like college freshmen Reagans and Kayleys have star tattoos on their shoulders? Are they Tren de Aragua? Because I don't think they are. Okay, I don't think Madison is in a gang necessarily with her crown or her star. And again, like if you want to set a rainbow autism awareness symbol, I guess that's all it takes to get you put on a list. And look, I understand if their defense is, we are the most sensitive little snowflakes ever, and I get triggered anytime I see ink on skin. And it's a tattoo, it's a star, it's a crown, it's scary. But like, you guys like to roll with like bikers and stuff on your side. They got flaming skulls and AK-47s and stuff. You guys seem to like tattoos when it's on militia members. Now, I know it's nothing as intimidating as like, Jordan soaring over you from the baseline or something. Like, it's not anything scary like that, but still, maybe you could try to exercise a little bit of understanding. But like I said, this is, we've been talking about this case among others. Jackson. And so it's good to see, at least today, Joe Rogan on the side of reason. I don't know where he'll be at in a few days, but what do you make of this?
Exactly. Who knows where he's going to be at in a few days? I think that, I mean, one, it's very easy, and we've already been discussing the horrors of deporting the wrong people, and how that's going down. But I think Joe Rogan is at a point in his life and his career where he doesn't really care about anything that he's doing. He's just making a lot of money. And even before you got to the point where, I mean, he'd been making money. And he got that $100 million contract. He was a multimillionaire before he got that contract. So he used to being wealthy. But he's been doing what he's been doing for what, like 30-ish years. And he just, at some point, I don't know when it happened, he just kind of seems to have tapped out. And now he's just going along with his right-wing friends and not really thinking much deeper into anything else other than that, kind of like he's tired. Because even before he kind of fell off a cliff like he is now, he was always, to me at least, he seemed like he would kind of agree with anybody he had on, like no matter whether, and he has all types of people on. I mean, for the most part, Joe Rogan is not a political podcast. He's an everything podcast, but his influence is what it is. Yeah. But yeah, like whoever's in front of him, he'll kind of just nod his head in agreement. And so I don't think he ever really had that many strong positions on anything. And now he's just like trying to enjoy his life and doesn't really give a damn. But at least he landed on the right thing this time.
Yeah, this time. Yeah. And look, the fact that he just, he denied Harris a position and then endorsed Trump, all this is like, if you want to put together a list of the deeply frustrating and in some cases horrifying things that he has said and done, that could be an extensive list. On the other hand, things are going to get really bad, and he doesn't seem as immune as a lot of these right wingers to noticing incompetence and stuff like this. And he has shown an interest in like Bernie Sanders and that sort of thing in the past. So maybe by the time of the midterms or the next presidential election, maybe he will be so sick of all of this insanity that he would be willing to support some kind of return to normalcy. We'll see, or something. We'll see. Bernie's not going to run necessarily, but we'll have to find out.